Hi, so this is the first part of making pasta. So I have 2 cups of all flour, and you could use 3 cups of all-purpose flour, but in this particular time I am using durum semolina flour. Okay, so I have 2 cups of all-purpose, 1 cup of the durum, which is a lot more gritty, and I don't recommend doing 3 cups of all the durum semolina because it's a lot harder to work with. Okay, so we have it all together. Just gonna take a fork, mix it together really quickly, roughly, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm just folding it in. Just takes a couple of seconds. Now I'm making a well. Now you always want to make sure you clean the surface well. Obviously wash your hands because you're using your fingers. All right, so I'm making a nice wide well. And I have 3 eggs here. And I like to put 1 egg in at a time. And what I'm going to do is just take my fork and I'm going towards the center. And thank you, Bella, for doing the video here. It's much appreciated.
Got my The Who shirt on, you know, just in case I would have been in a cameo.
Okay, so now I'm adding my 2nd egg. And again, we're just trying to get the flour wet, right? We get the flour wet, we're going to make a dough. All right, reposition the well, scrape it up a little bit. Add our 3rd egg. All right. Now what's going to happen is it's not going to be completely molded, completely wet. You still see some loose flour, right? So what we have to do, let me just try to get the most out of these eggs as I can. All right, bring everything in, make a new mound. And now I have 1/4 cup of warm water. I'm going to slowly, you notice how I just put a splash in there because you may not need the whole thing. If it's too wet, it becomes too sticky, makes it harder to work with later on. So you want it to be just right. I use a plastic fork. You could use a metal one if you want. All right, I'm going to add, again, new mound. Just add it a little bit. It's almost like you're adding about 3 tablespoons each time. It's kind of like the equivalent of what the amount a single egg would be. So I'm just incorporating that. It's getting there. All right, a little more again. Always going towards the center. Still see a little bit of flour. They used to say back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, a little flour power. Okay. Now I'm going to take my hands.
We stay groovy, folks.
And again, it's not too sticky. If you find it's too sticky, then what you do is you could add a little more flour. Okay? Now I think this is a little bit dry, so I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of water. Now you're getting like a, sort of like a pasty. See, it's thick now, it's become an object. But I still want to incorporate the rest of the flour that's here because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just folding it. This is a traditional kneading. You know, use the palms of your hands to knead it down. Fold it over, press it down. So when I feel some sticky parts, like I feel right here, you could see it's a little wet. Just kind of like dab the flour. That'll take it in. All right, look. Now what we want to do
Looks great.
make a little ball. Right now it looks like there's like a little space here. You just, again, incorporate that with the heel of your palm.
Flatten her out.
It's slightly dry, so I'm just gonna just take just a little, there's hardly any water on my hands, just to put it all together. Make my little softball here. Take whatever I have left, not much. Now, if you're just using 3 cups of all-purpose flour, you probably only need, you don't need a 1/4 cup of water, maybe an 1/8. But when you use the durum semolina, it's very dry, very thick. So it does take a little bit of water. And now this is perfect. It's hard, firm, not too sticky, okay? Now what we do, take some saran wrap. And actually the other thing that I'm going to do first is grab a little olive oil. Just a little bit, because I don't want it drying out too much. And again, this is just getting the outer layer so it doesn't dry up. I want to thank my friend Pasquale Cardamuro. He's from Naples, Italy. He's got a restaurant in Alpharetta called La Casa. He taught me this trick. So this is now ready to go in the refrigerator. And that's part 1. We'll let it sit for at least 2 hours or overnight. And then we'll get to the next step, which we already did a video. It's called the part 2, how to make pasta. Have a great one.
Bye.